In today's video, we're going to take a little bit of time to answer some of your questions. Recently, we did a survey where we surveyed some of our clients and members of our network to find out what were some of the biggest questions you had when it came to retirement planning. In this video, we're going to start to tackle some of those questions. My name is Jason. I'm the founder of the Kennedy Financial Group, as well as the founder for the Chicago Alliance for Medical Professionals and Educator. I have with me today, Nicole, who manages all of our client relationships. Nicole, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you, Jason?
I am doing all right. Ready to get started.
Yes, good. I'm really excited about this segment because I've been getting a lot of the questions back, and it's been a common thread I noticed. So I narrowed it down to just 4 questions. Of course, there's plenty more. We can go all day, but I just narrowed it down to 4 questions that I noticed was a common trend. So if it's okay, I'd like to just shoot them out at you and we can go from there.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Okay. Excuse my voice today. I'm a little hoarse. So sorry about that. If you're getting a little static or feedback, it's my voice. It's not the audio.
That's okay. You sound great.
Okay. So the first question I have from some of our clients is, how can I save if I'm already struggling in my financial situation? So what can they do if things are already a little tight for them?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question to start with. I think it's gotten even harder to answer when we think about what's happened over the last year and a half with the pandemic and individuals having their income change. But I think the biggest difference between those I see who save regularly and don't save regularly, true, it does have something to do with income. But the biggest difference that I've seen has to do with them simply automating their savings. Those who put their savings on autopilot, so to speak, they tend to save far more than those who don't. So simple way to fix that problem, decide on an amount, any amount. It doesn't have to be a lot. Put it on autopilot. What's going to happen is over time, you'll forget about it. You'll adjust the rest of your budget and you'll have a nice amount of money saved that you can use for your future.
Okay, thank you. I like that. So it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. If we put it away before we even see it, we won't remember until we notice how much we saved, right?
You got it. Yeah. Just that simple.
Okay. Good. I like that. So our next question is, will I have enough though in retirement? And how will I know what's enough?
Yeah. I think that the reason that question is so hard to answer, I think there are 2 reasons why. Number one, enough is different for everybody, right? Because all of us are different. The second reason that question is so hard to answer is because most of our lives, we're used to getting a paycheck. Every 2 weeks, we get a paycheck, right? And we use that to pay our bills. Well, a person who retires, they're agreeing to never get a paycheck again. And they have to take this bucket of money they saved and they got to try to turn it into a paycheck. And that presents some challenges. Here's a really simple way to work through the ideal of having enough to retire. Okay, so I'm a horrible drawer, but I'm going to try to draw this out, okay?
Okay.
So, Nicole, don't talk about my drawing. Okay. All right, so.
That's a box. I know that one.
Yes, this is a box, right? So when a person's trying to plan for retirement, I think it's important to know where your money is going to come from, right? Let's say a person realizes they need $80,000, right? So if I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna have enough, I need to know where that 80,000 is gonna come from. So I need to know how much is my Social Security gonna be, right? How much is my pension gonna be? If I'm a teacher, I have a pension. If I'm a medical professional, I may not have one, right? So it depends. I need to know those things, right? Are there any other sources of guaranteed income that I'm gonna have, like rental income? Or anything else that's going to generate a consistent paycheck for me. Once I know what's in these buckets, so to speak, then I can figure out, okay, will my savings be enough to make up the rest? Does that make sense?
Okay. And so that 80K is what our goal is, or just as an example.
This is just an example because everybody may not have the goal of having 80K, right? In order for me to know how much money I really need in retirement, I got to know how much I spend. And that's different for every person. So you might have one couple, they might spend $10,000 a month, but you might have another couple who's fine with $5,000 a month. So it's going to vary. So if I can figure out my expenses or project what I believe my expenses will be when I stop working, then I can start to do the math formula to figure out how much income I actually need. Then I know how much to save. I think the thing that causes anxiety is most people don't do any of this. They just save. So they look at their bucket of money and they're unsure as to whether they have enough. That creates anxiety. But if I do a little bit of planning to figure out how much income I need, where it's going to come from, then I can start to figure out if my savings will give me enough. And this is where we focus at, right? Once we help a person figure out their Social Security, optimize it, get the most out of it, figure out their pension, optimize it, get the most out of it, figure out any other guaranteed sources of income. And then we can show them how to take their savings, build up enough of it to generate the income they need so that they can have enough money in retirement.
Wow, thank you, Jason. That was a really good breakdown. We definitely want to see what our expenses are compared to what our income will be. And that was a really great breakdown. I must say, I'm glad you're in the financial industry, although you could have been a doctor with that handwriting.
Yeah,
but
I
I'm
know. That was my first D in elementary school. I got straight A's and B's, and I got a D on handwriting. So.
Oh, wow. Well, the explanation is what's most important. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So our next question, going on to our next question, we only got two more, is, am I too old to start saving for retirement? I'm in my 50s. What are my options? So is there an age that's too old? And if there is, what are their options at that point if they kind of waited till they were up in age to start saving?
Yeah, I think that when a person realizes that, they're a little discouraged, right? Because they feel like they missed a lot of opportunity, a lot of time. And sometimes there could be reasons why, things happen. So no reason to be discouraged. It's not too late. There are certain advantages you have as a person who has, hopefully, by the age of 50, maybe paid off some of their debt, made more money because maybe they've been promoted, they've advanced a little bit further in their career, so they have more income. So it's not too late. A person just may have to save more money at that point in time. And most retirement programs compensate for that. So for example, 401ks allow you to contribute a higher amount of money once you get to age 50. Traditional accounts like IRAs, Roth IRAs, they all raise your contributions once you get to age 50. And a lot of the programs we work with that are a little bit safer, like life insurance, cash value life insurance, where you can dump money in, they have no contribution limit. So there are definitely ways for a person to contribute larger amounts of money if they feel like they're a little late to the game when it comes to saving for retirement.
Well, that's definitely good to know that when I hit 50, that I can increase it. So all hope isn't lost.
No, not at all.
Thank you for that. So, and I like that note that some of the companies or the products, they do allow an increase because of your age. So yes. That's a plus and good to know.
Yes.
So thank you again for that, Jason. So our last question of the day is, what is the difference between the different products and why does it matter? Why does it matter if I save in a 401k versus a Roth IRA? And does it even really matter?
Yeah, it matters. And it's important to understand what you're putting your money into, because then you can know if it makes sense for you. I think the simplest way to highlight the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional 401k is just simply to talk about taxes. Traditional accounts like 401ks, 403bs, traditional IRAs, they all defer your taxes until later. So you basically are telling the government, I don't want to pay taxes on this money now. I'll pay taxes on this money later when I retire. A person who puts money into a 401k, they get to lower their income now. So if I make $100,000 and I put $10,000 into a 401k, the government treats me like I made $90,000 this year. So that's why people put money into their 401ks.
So if I'm understanding correctly, and this is just for our viewers, if I'm understanding correctly, then I actually get to keep more of my money now, and they will put away for the tax for later if I do 401k.
So it's not that you get to keep more of your money. It's that you get a tax break, right? So you're taxed based on your income. So a person who makes $100,000, they're going to pay more taxes than a person who makes 90.
Okay.
So when the 401k was created, people were looking for places to dump money and reduce their taxes.
Okay. If
I make 100,000, I put 20,000 into my 401k. I'm treated like I made 80,000. So I pay less taxes this year. The problem is that as that money grows inside of that 401k, guess what I'm going to have to pay when I go to access that money?
Oh, so you pay your taxes at the end versus when you put the money in, they don't take the taxes right then and there.
Exactly. So a person has to weigh out, is it more of an advantage for me to avoid the taxes today and pay them tomorrow? Or is it better for me to go ahead and pay the tax today and have the money not be taxable tomorrow? And that's the main difference between a 401k, 403b, traditional IRA, and a Roth IRA, Roth 401k. Those accounts, you basically pay the tax now, and all the growth, everything inside of that account is never taxed again. As long as you follow the rules of the Roth IRA, of course, it's never taxed again, right? And that's why Roth IRAs, Roth 401ks, life insurance, all of those things are becoming more popular right now because people don't want to be in a situation where they have to pay taxes. Every dollar you pay to the tax man is one less dollar you get to use for income when you're in retirement.
Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. It's better to have more money later when we really need it than when we go to really get it, we don't have as much because now we got to pay Uncle Sam.
That's my opinion. You're going to find some people who disagree with that. But I believe that the goal of a retirement plan should be to give you the most income in retirement. All of that other stuff, tax breaks now, all of that, that's extra. The most important goal is how do I get the most income at a point in life when I don't have a paycheck? And that's why Roth IRAs and other accounts like them are more popular.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today. And I will see you next time.
All right. Hope all enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. If you like this type of video, let us know in the comments. We'd love to know. Give us a like. If you hate this type of video, let us know. The feedback would be greatly appreciated. Until the next time we talk again, take care.
Bye.